In 2023, ICM set sail in a bigger boat and has been full steam ahead ever since. From groundbreaking organizational growth to the expansion of its programming, flourishing new partnerships, and a new home, ICM is cruising out of 2023 with renewed vigor and putting the pieces together in 2024. The legislative session kicked off the year for ICM's advocacy in a big way. In collaboration with the Atlanta Masjid, Central Congregational United Church of Christ, W.D. Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, St. Thomas More Catholic Church, and the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, ICM co-hosted Have a Heart legislative writing parties around the Metro Atlanta area. From the very young to the forever young, writing party attendees of all ages created Valentine messages to show their appreciation to the state's elected officials, express how much families and children are loved, valued, and cherished in Georgia, and to implore the 236 decision makers to have a heart for Georgia's children and families during the legislative session. The Valentine parties culminated with gift bag deliveries to members of Georgia's General Assembly for Valentine's Day. ICM's third annual Blessings for Beloved Community Virtual Interfaith Prayer Vigil featured over 20 prayers from faith leaders, young people, and adults of various faith communities. For the first time ever, senators and representatives offered prayers for the legislative session and children and families in Georgia. We are thankful for the work and witness of Atlanta Interfaith Broadcast Network, Georgia Interfaith Public Policy Center, the Jewish Community Relations Council, Interfaith Atlanta, and the Southeastern Synod Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, whose partnership made this event a success. ICM's Grow the Movement efforts blew last year's number out of the water. In addition to the 9 new partnerships formed in 2022, the committee used that as a springboard to garner 20 new organizational and congregational partnerships, including L'Arche Atlanta, the Temple, Atlanta Masjid, St. Luke's Episcopal Church, and the Atlanta Friends Meeting Quaker Community, just to name a few, making ICM's total a whopping 29 partnerships and growing. With the high tide of energy and support rising, the need for a new office space was imminent, even if only temporary. Through the generosity of Central Congregational United Church of Christ, ICM has found not only a new office space, but a new home to support its innovation and advocacy efforts. Our heartfelt thanks to the members of Central Congregational UCC for your gracious hospitality during this season of exponential growth. With new programming and office space, there was an urgent need for more hands on deck to hold the pieces together. Thanks to the financial support from ICM's Board of Directors, partners, friends, and a 3-year grant through the Joseph B. Whitehead Child Wellbeing Fund at the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta, for the first time in ICM's 23-year history, there are 4 full-time staff members. In addition to ICM's full-time staff, the movement has a dedicated communications team and its newest hire, administrative assistant and advocacy intern. This talented, energetic team works alongside ICM's executive director and committee chairs to push our advocacy work forward and ensure the care of all children in Georgia. New office, new staff. But that's not all that's new. ICM's mission now centers around our new 4 focus areas of care: care for child well-being, care for child safety and protection, care for the caregivers, care for the future. These areas allow ICM to continue to live into its mission to create a Georgia where all children are centered, protected, loved, and cared for. ICM's Youth Advocacy Internship was dynamic. This summer intensive featured 10 passionate teens, ages 13 through 18, who experienced a transformative 12-week hybrid experience led by ICM staff. The interns met weekly and engaged in thought-provoking conversations with one another and with advocacy experts. They explored Atlanta, met youth from across the state, delved into local and state issues, and hosted ICM's second annual Prayers for Peace and Positivity event, a youth-led back-to-school virtual vigil. The summer session concluded with each intern delivering an 8 to 10 minute teen talk, which laid out their strategy for change. 2 interns were selected to present their teen talks live at ICM's 23rd Annual Interfaith Prayers Celebration and Fundraiser for Children. Full steam ahead! All hands on deck! This year's Interfaith Prayer Celebration and Fundraiser was indeed a celebration and a call to action. Those who care about the well-being of children in Georgia gathered in unity to celebrate the work of our young people and what we do together. This year, ICM recognized not 1, but 3 unsung heroes for children. Attendees were inspired by Interfaith Prayers, ICM's originally composed movement song, and had lots of fun raising money for our continued growth across Georgia. This year's events efforts generated almost $50,000 in total. Across the country, every year, communities, faith leaders, advocates, and youth connect for the Children's Sabbath, an initiative through the Children's Defense Fund. This year, ICM teamed up with Big Bethel AME Church, Tzedek Atlanta, Hands All In, and the Guru Nanak Mission Society for a 2-day annual Interfaith Children's Sabbath weekend. The Saturday Advocacy Day event was led by social activist and advocate Jeff Willard, Big Bethel's Freedom School staff, and Hands All In. Their combined efforts included advocacy workshops and training for children, youth, and adults. Sunday's event was jam-packed, beginning with an interfaith and intergenerational worship service at Big Bethel that included members of the Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, and Baha'i traditions, followed by a Dewan prayer service and langar meal at the Guru Nanak Mission Society's Gurdwara. The 2-day event further cemented the commitment of Atlanta's interfaith community to working together for the cause of caring for the well-being of all of its children. ICM is turning the page on yet another year. For over 2 decades, we have answered the call to bring people together, to build a multi-faith coalition that works together on behalf of all children in Georgia. We are gaining momentum. We are mobilizing congregations and communities of faith across our state. We are just as committed today as we ever were to bring all of the pieces of this grand picture together. We have the space, the staff, the focus, the passion, and the drive. The piece that's missing now is you. Join this movement. Connect your faith community, your school, and your organization. Partner with us so that together we can create a Georgia where all children thrive.